Typically, I would say Gen Z behavior is very interesting. They are quite adaptive. Like if I want to sell something to Gen Z, it's comparatively way easier to sell it. So yes, Gen Z at workplace is very tricky. I have to accept as employer their traits and then I have to plan it accordingly.
Hello everyone, I welcome you all to another episode of Sip and Sync with Gen Z. Today we are zooming in marketing, not the jargon filled, ad heavy, the kind that actually drives results. And who better to talk than Mrs. Kartar Kaur, the founder of Namdhari Consultancy Services, also known as NCS. Ma'am helps startups and SMEs grow their online presence through 360-degree marketing solutions, whether it's organic Instagram growth, high value SEO traffic, or building a brand community. She's done it with a track record to show. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am. We are excited to have conversation with you.
Thank you, Soumya, for having me, and it's a pleasure. And thank you for the wonderful introduction here. Just to add on here, yes, the vision with which NCA started, or I started with my own startup years back, the thought was to land into education industry, which is not fully committed till date. But yes, apart from the agency, I have been facilitator in colleges as guest lecturer for marketing and digital marketing to be very specific. So yes, have been interacting a lot with the interesting Gen Z, I would say.
That is great. So I'm starting from here. Where did your interest in marketing begin?
I would say it's not something which I was having trying to explore it or something like that. I would say it was more inbuilt in me. So as I belong to a business family, so I think since my childhood, I have seen the sales and marketing part of a business more closely, rather, I would say. So yes, but I landed into engineering more with my father's dream of being an engineer rather my own one. And I remember having a fight with my father where I was like, yeah, I want to go for a BBA. And he was like, no, because he was relying more on the advice of the people around rather our own experience. Because coming from a very small city from Himachal, it was more like, where my father was not having the resources, he tried to give all the resources to us and
Okay.
people who were there, like there was this BBMB project there, and we were surrounded by a lot of engineers and teachers.
Right.
So it was maybe more he was convinced by those job profiles, and that's how he tried to plan the similar kind of career for us. So yes, that's how I started engineering, and in my engineering part, I was developing more of the projects. I was more into product development and had patents, did research paper. I'm just trying to give you that story, like how I landed into marketing being an engineer.
Right, right, right.
So, and that's how I was doing more of the technical stuff. I was not ready to accept any of the jobs, like all the electronics, electrical, mechanical. Most of the, students of any of these branches were landing into IT jobs only at my time, right? Back in 2013, 14, 15, like those 2, 3 years, right? And
Right.
I was somehow not ready to pick any of the IT job because I put a lot of my time, effort, and everything into electronics. Did a lot of research, developed projects, traveled the world for my projects, had patents, did research papers. So, but by the end of the day, I was jobless.
Hmm.
And then I started working as a intern at CSIR, which is the central government's research center.
Right.
That electronics only. But again, after a year, I was a little clueless because I was not very happy with the research going on at the CSIR, as I
Okay.
felt there is not much of the scope of, exploring your own thoughts. So
Right.
it's more like what you are doing is not your own thoughts, it's more driven by someone on the top, and they are not allowing your creativity to just come over. So there
Right.
at that time, I remember appearing for all those government exams, and
Hmm.
I made a call to my father, crying my heart out, like, I am not going to do this. So very calmly he said, "Okay, करना क्या है अब?"
Hmm.
So I was like, मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा था मुझे बीबीए करने दो. So you didn't
Right.
listen to me, and I want to go to maybe to MBA
Hmm.
because in this 1.5, 2 years, maybe the realization came while I was working in CSIR and other projects that I am developing the project, I am giving solution to a problem, and if I'm landing upon a better opportunities, it's because I'm able to sell it.
Right. Correct.
And that's how it's like business is already like, the thought is already in me. It's just I need to learn how to do it correctly. The
Right.
science behind doing business, the science behind marketing and all of it. And
Right.
that's how one of my mentor, I completely surrendered that I'm very clueless. I don't know what to do now. You just tell me.
Hmm.
So he just referred me to someone. I started working there
Hmm.
as a coder again
Okay.
because I knew coding because of coding the electrical equipments and all.
Right.
Within 6 months, without knowing and planning for it, I shifted to marketing because while I was coding, um, I was my all the websites were very much appreciated by the US brands.
Hmm.
And only question I was asked is like how I am doing it. So I was like, I am doing the best practices because I am again the research brain was already,
Right.
very much
Right.
trained.
Right.
So they were SEO ready without even asking for SEO. So one of the hot, service which was already going in the US market was SEO back then in 2015,
Right.
almost 10 years back. So I was doing it without even knowing that I'm doing it. So that's how the SEO thing started. And slowly I started picking up the social media, the ads. And that's how, without even knowing that I am doing part of marketing, it started. And then later I acquired the certificates. I went for my specializations. Then I went with Mica Institute. So that's how I, acquired the things later which were needed for it.
Right. That is a very interesting story, having really great turns and twists. Wasn't expecting it. So it was a great story. So like when we talk about Gen Zs, like since you've been dealing with brands and you've been dealing with startups and everything, so
Mhm.
how do you describe the behavior of Gen Zs with brands today? Like their relationship,
Working for brands or consuming brands?
consuming brands at this point.
For consuming brands specifically, I would say Gen Z behavior is very interesting.
Okay.
They are quite adaptive. Like if
Hmm.
I want to sell something to Gen Z, it's comparatively way easier to sell it to a millennial or even the other generations. So
Right.
they are adaptive, and I would say they are impulsive in the same way. They are
Correct.
they are the two sides of the same coin, if you see that, adaptiveness and impulsiveness.
Right.
So yes, in the same way, if I want to sell something to a Gen Z, it is way easier. On the same hand, if I want to retain a Gen Z to my brand, I need to give that authentic, honest, valuable service as well. So they rely a lot on, what is being served rather than what is being said.
Right.
एक बार में तो मैं बेच सकती हूँ, लेकिन अगर मुझे उसको रिटेन करना है एज माई lifelong customer and a loyal customer and
Right.
someone who refers me as well, I need to have a very solid product or service and
Right.
need to deliver it at the same parameter. मतलब उसके साथ आप मजाक नहीं कर सकते.
Correct. Right. That is very true. Like considering that there are so many options today that might not have been there 10 years ago. So the switching is very much common these days
Very,
in in brands. So
especially when the Gen Z is having all the resources to explore, to use their own brain, to use their money. So all
right,
of these factors definitely, give them that power that they can actually switch you. So yes, they are
right,
smart girls. I feel that.
right. So talking about this, do you think that the Gen Zs are more loyal to the products or to the personalities that are linked with the products?
Mm, it would vary, I would say. They are loyal, not so again, you have to serve them to keep their loyalty with you, right?
Right,
So it's very rare that they would listen or refer to someone कि okay उसने कहा था या उसके ये फायदे हैं, then they would consider something. No, they are going to use their own logics, their own beliefs, and their so-called, influencers, not influencers in the way of the digital influencers, anyone who influenced them. So it
right,
could be one friend, it could be a celebrity, it could be anyone, a book, anything that they can come across. So yes, it is a combination of a lot of factors to retain that loyalty.
right,
But yes, I think loyalty again is a human behavior. Gen Z having them or not having them is again debatable, but loyalty it's a human value, it's a trait, and
right,
we all have it, right?
right.
And if that trust factor is broken, we all are heartbroken in the same matter. So
That's
Gen Z लॉयल है भी है और नहीं भी है when it comes to how their check points are being considered.
right, right. Also, like considering that we keep on hearing that the attention span of Gen Zs or in general also it has decreased pretty much because of again there's so much content on the internet. Like if you're scrolling on Instagram, so there's so many reels about the same thing maybe. So
Mhm.
since you also help brands with this, so what is that one thing that might make them stop scrolling and actually look at what the product is?
This is very tricky because this is something not very much which aligns with my way of working.
Okay,
Um, because see, people and brands are trying to make that short form of content, right?
right,
And undoubtedly, the attention span of not only Gen Z, everyone has decreased.
right.
So Gen Z का already कम है, बाकियों का भी कम हो रहा है. So anyone who's consuming content
Hmm.
that needs to be very entertaining rather than so there was one time when we used to say, provide value, give
Right.
education, spread awareness. Like that's what one of the major vertical of what we call marketing funnel was, right? And
Right.
and what behavior I can see, the shift from marketing funnel, it's getting more of a marketing loop now. So
Right.
rather than the bigger part of the funnel being awareness, now it is entertainment.
Hmm. Correct.
And the awareness, you have to give the awareness also in the entertaining form. So
Right.
so when I'm saying it's as a loop, it's more like, that entertainment, engagement, and selling. So that's the loop which is going on in marketing, especially with social media being very dominant right now. So that
Right.
funnel part is aside. Now it's a marketing loop, which is very much a fresh going in this marketing field of Gen Z, and then the next generation also, the brands are quite prepared for serving them as well. Because
Right.
even a 12-year, 14-year-old is also trying to order online. So
Right.
that's also the customer behavior is being analyzed, and the brands are preparing for it. So it's a loop now. So
Right.
yes, the brands need to prepare for it, undoubtedly.
Right.
And there's nothing which is like a hard and fast rule now in marketing, which earlier used to be. The brands need to be very adaptive because again they are serving the adaptive generation. They don't stick
Correct.
to one thing. So
Correct.
we as marketeers, we as brands, we need to keep on experimenting, have that open mindedness, because the customers now we are serving are like that only. And
Right.
यही Gen Z का जो customer behavior pattern है is driving their parents as well.
Right.
They are also trying to shift now, now like if you have seen even my house help, if I would say, or someone with the 40s uh, of the age as well, it's very normal for them also to say कि अगर product अच्छा नहीं आया return डाल देंगे.
Right. Right.
So this is a behavior shift.
Correct.
Earlier people used to be very shy कि अरे कैसे कुछ दुकान पे वापस जाके उनको बोलें कि ये अच्छा नहीं लगा वापस कर लो.
Right. Right.
Behavior
Right.
shift is coming in everyone, and yes, it is being influenced and driven by Gen Z because they are the mobile first generation. So yeah.
Right. That is correct. So, like talking about awareness, also, we've seen that maybe things like sustainability are much more important than they used to be before. Like, even the brands, few of the brands target sustainability so that they have a separate segment. So, how important is that according to you right now?
Undoubtedly, and if you notice today, it's the World Environment Day. A lot
Yes,
of brands are directly, indirectly wants to talk about it. Many of the influencers are trying to talk about it. Be it, in environment we connect everything, be it plastic, be it the air, be it the water, anything comes up.
right.
Yes, if I particularly talk about the brands, the businesses, and to be very specific, the fast fashion thing comes up. So the businesses, the brands are making business. They are having huge profits. They're least bothered with the fact of being sustainable, right? Undoubtedly, many of the brands are coming up with the eco-friendly packaging part, with the
Right.
with the clothing options which are very sustainable. But
Right.
one thing is very common to most of them, that they are very costly,
Correct.
right? And when it is very costly, there is one chunk of the consumer which is ready to pay that price. They can
Mm,
afford it.
mm.
And even if someone can afford it, but is not having that thought process, will not again is a buyer. So one,
Right.
it is very costly, the sustainable products,
Hmm.
right? Be it the product or be it the packaging part. अगर product नहीं भी है आपका eco-friendly,
Hmm.
sustainable, a lot of conferences, big events, and a lot of startups are coming up with the so-called eco-friendly packaging part options also. Be
Right.
it the drinkables, be it the packaging part, be it anything.
Right.
But
Right.
again, they are very costly. A plastic cup or that brown paper cup and a eco-friendly cup and a cooler. If you
Right.
see the costings of it, it's like uncomparable, right? And
Right.
now again coming to a brand, because I have been consulting brands. Even if I
Hmm.
have the thought process of being sustainable, and if I
Hmm.
refer someone that, for your packaging part, why don't you consider these options?
Hmm.
So again, when me myself is going the to do the cost analysis, the ROI analysis of that particular brand,
Hmm.
मुझे ही मना करना पड़ेगा कि मत करो, because my
Right.
job is to make the brand profitable. So वो
Correct.
वो पैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है जो हम सस्टेनेबल प्रोडक्ट्स लेके आने, या तो कस्टमर रेडी है उस पैसे को देने के लिए, या वो ब्रांड रेडी है अपने प्रॉफिट मार्जिन्स को कम करने के लिए. So
Right.
either, the puzzle has to be fixed very nicely. So
Right.
sustainability is very important. And we as users first, we need to be very much responsible कि हमें ये चीज नहीं चाहिए. तब शायद वो ब्रांड्स उस चीज पे काम करना बंद कर दे. Or
Right.
if we are ready, that yes, we are ready to pay that for 40 50 rupees of shipping and extra thing, and that's not the shipping charge, that's actually the product packaging part. If we are ready to do that, then maybe the brands are also would consider that and would be happy to do that as well. Also, if I tell you, there are a lot of brands now coming up who are inviting people to, and they are also paying people to
Hmm.
share their trash, their plastics, and all of it.
Right, right.
And they give the coupons, like Ecocari is one of the brands, a very
Hmm.
nice
Hmm.
one. So what they do, they recycle all the plastic and they make products and then they sell it,
Right,
like pouches, the bags, and all of it.
right.
And I try to be a little sensitive with the plastic, and there's no plastic that I would have in the home. तो जो भी दालों और सर्फ and all सबका plastic packaging आता है, try to save
Hmm.
them.
Okay.
And once I thought to, like every 3 months, I would make a box out of it and I would courier. It
Right.
cost it cost me around 450 rupees to courier one box. For
Okay.
first time, I was like very enthusiastic. Okay, I'll say and I'll just do that. Second
Right.
time, I was like, why I am paying this money,
Hmm. Right.
right? Because anyway, I'm not going to buy that product. I'm not their buyer,
Correct.
right? Because I'm already using a cloth bag or something, whatever, which is like very
Hmm.
old one.
Hmm.
So again, next time, it was very thoughtful कि ये करना भी, एक तो मैं सेव कर रही हूँ, ऊपर से मैं
Hmm.
उसको भेजने के लिए मैं पैसे डाल रही हूँ,
Hmm.
because there is no such option of recycling available near me in Tri-City.
Right.
तो ऑप्शंस नहीं है,
Hmm.
विलनेस नहीं है पैसा देने की या पैसा सेव करने की. एज
Hmm.
businesses we are not ready to take that onus of, like, the profit margins and all. So there are a lot of factors, and sustainability awareness आ रही है, but there is a long way to go. It
Right.
might take another 10 years to actually be on that line where we say ki, okay, we are sustainable, we are not sustainable at all.
Correct. So, right. So, like, I feel like that this generation relies a lot on the social media. Like, if there's a trend of being maybe sustainable,
Yes.
then there's a possibility that a lot of people uh,
You will see
do
the
that.
shift happening. So that's how and I am also influenced by some of the people who were talking about this on social media.
Right,
Like
right,
I follow around 10 people who, like, I have seen, they have grown in the last 2 or 3 years. How I carry steel bottles when I travel. I have steel sippers, which is collapsible. So all of these products I came across was because of these influencers only. So
right,
yes, there is, a complete noise in this social media world of being sustainable. There are a lot of good influencers who are
right,
talking about it. People are following it and they are also getting that awareness
right,
that this is important.
right, correct. So, like again, talking about influencers, so how much is humor important for this generation when you talk about branding or some,
Again, I think humor is also, that's how it connects to entertainment.
right?
Be it the humor is sarcastic, be it
Hmm.
funny. So
Hmm.
either of the, the brand tone, that's what we call, right?
Right, right,
So humor की भी अपनी अपनी tone है, and that's how it is entertaining.
correct.
So yes, it is very much important and it helps. And I won't say this is the only factor. This is not the only factor, but yes, if someone is having this humor as a trait, it's a definitely it's an add-on.
So
It's that.
was it there 10 years ago, or is it something that is
I would say it was always there.
okay,
Be even if you take it non-digital,
okay.
see it in your family celebrations or something, you would see
Hmm.
people would hang up around the person who is witty, who is having that humor. और आपको कोई भी celebration उस particular personality के बिना खाली लगती है, right? So it's
Correct.
always there. It's a human again. People just, get attracted to it. So it was always there, be it now, be it back then. It was always there. But yes, it was never considered as a profession. Like if you see now, a lot of stand-up comedians have come up.
Right, right,
It was never considered that someone can earn money out of it. Or
right,
rather, they were like always, maybe cursed by their parents कि तुझे तो कुछ आता नहीं है, तुम तो यही करते रहते हो सारा दिन, कि जितनी मर्जी बातें करवा लो तुमसे टाइप्स, right?
Hmm.
So that's how I think this shift has happened, where we say now that, if you have any talent, you can earn money out of it. So yes, this is
Right.
the era, earning out of any of your talent, be it as stupid as it is or as valuable as it is.
Right.
So लोग कुछ भी बोलते हो आपके उस टैलेंट को लेके, बट दैट टैलेंट, दिस इज द टाइम वेयर एनी ऑफ दैट टैलेंट कैन हेल्प यू मेक मनी.
Right. Right. So now we've talked about Gen Zs as your consumers. So now Gen Zs as the people that you work with, I would like to ask, is are they different?
Difficult. It is difficult, um, because I need to be more prepared when I'm hiring a Gen Z,
Okay.
right? And even the generations who are coming quite younger, the versions of Gen Z, they are tricky to handle, because it's not that they have a shorter attention span on the mobile. They are even having equally shorter attention span on the laptop or in the meeting or in the, like, I so that is a little tricky part. But again, as employer, this is like a challenge, right? And every generation is having their set of challenges.
Right.
So someone, like, one very common thing comes up where most of the employers complain about the timings.
Right.
Gen Z is very much punctual, कि 6 बजे वो बैग नहीं पैक करते, 6 बजे वो आपको गेट पे दिखते हैं, that bye, we are going, right?
Hmm.
It's not wrong, I would say. But the problem part is when your work is not complete. I will not appreciate even a millennial or any other employee sitting there at till 8 or 8:30
Right.
with, without any productivity. But if you are able to complete your tasks even in 4 hours, then why would I want someone to just sit on the table? So
Right.
that thought process is very important, one, as an employer first.
Right.
How I'm First thing is like how we plan our day, be it the stand-up calls that we take on a weekly base, on a
Right.
daily base, and on a monthly base, having each of the targets. You have a monthly target, you have a weekly target, you have a day plan.
Right.
That needs to be very nicely planned first for yourself and then for your team. तो
Right.
वो प्लानिंग में अगर प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी जेंजी एम्प्लॉय आपको प्रॉब्लम देगा ही देगा.
Hmm.
सो बिकॉज दे कांट सिट आइडल, वो वेला बैठ ही नहीं सकता है. तो जब वो वेला नहीं बैठेगा, वो मोबाइल चलाएगा, और
Hmm.
मैक्सिमम अ मंथ और इवन बिफोर दैट
Hmm.
they will leave you with any of the stupid reason that they can give,
Right.
right? It is very difficult to retain a Gen Z. Yes, I would agree. Their attention span is a problem, but that problem can be very productive for a Gen Z. उसका टेंशन स्पैन कम है, उसको काम दोगे वो एक्वायर्ड रहेगा और वो करके देगा.
Right. That
So
is
I
correct.
need to be, very much on my toes. Like when I plan to have a Gen Z for my team, be it the regular hiring part or be it the interns.
Right.
So it needs to be planned. Their work needs to be planned. Their entertainment needs to be planned. The breaks need to be planned.
Right.
If something is coming for the office party, what food is coming, that needs to be planned. A samosa party is not going to work for them.
All right.
So yes, that's what we call about a company culture. So
Correct.
culture जो है वो, the corporate culture needs to be very nicely done and should be adaptive also. I have to accept that this is the Gen Z trait. I
Right.
can't ask them you have to change,
Right.
right? And if I tell you, while I was working, I was on job,
Hmm.
right? I really used to feel so bad कि if I am half an hour late, I was
Hmm.
like in the another city, was trying to have my meals, be it, my health, and then have to travel, have to manage my home and all of it, right? And then I have to reach my workspace. I have to upskill, I have to work, as a manager, I have to see my team. There are a lot of things are there, right? If I'm
Right.
half an hour late, the HR is there कि आपका हाफ डे का सैलरी गया बट द एचआर इज नॉट सीइंग इफ आई एम पुटिंग अप माय सैटरडे इफ आई एम
Right.
पुटिंग अप अ लिटिल extra timings after the work when everyone is out of the office and I'm sitting and I'm working there. And I must say, many of my Gen Z um, teammates I have seen they put extra timings as well without any complaint, right?
Right.
So if I was always there and I didn't like my HR doing this, and maybe the same thing I always had in mind कि मेरी छुट्टी के पैसे कट रहे हैं, मेरे
Hmm.
हाफ डे के पैसे कट रहे हैं, बट व्हेन आई एम वर्किंग एक्स्ट्रा यू आर नॉट अप्रिशिएटिंग इट,
Right. Right.
राइट? सो दैट इज समथिंग विच आई वाज लाइक कि ये टाइमिंग वाला जो लोचा है ये बहुत खराब है. दिस
Hmm.
इज नॉट समथिंग करेक्ट एंड यू कांट जज समवन्स you can't judge someone's package on the timing someone is putting up, right? Although जब हम पैसा लेते हैं किसी से हम यही बात करते हैं आवरली प्राइस क्या है, but
Correct.
more about it has to be more about productivity.
Correct.
If I have the capacity, मतलब बहुत ही layman example में बोलूं,
Hmm.
there is someone at home who can cook food for 10 people maybe in an hour, and there is someone who can cook in 2 hours. ठीक है, टेस्ट को भी साइड पे रख देते हैं.
Hmm.
ठीक है, अभी सिर्फ इसकी बात करते हैं प्रोडक्टिविटी की, एफिशिएंसी, और उस पे बाद में आते हैं.
Hmm.
सो यू नो समवन हैज टू सी, मेरे पास शायद एक्स्ट्रा टाइम है वो कुछ और करने के लिए. सो
Correct.
दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड टू सी विद आवर टीममेट्स आल्सो. एफिशिएंसी बेटर करना तो सेकंड बात है, पहले हम
Hmm.
प्रोडक्टिविटी की बात करते हैं. सो दिस टाइमिंग वाज ऑलवेज एन इशू फॉर मी व्हिच आई ट्राइड नॉट टू पास ऑन हैव इट विद माय टीम.
Right.
And maybe I had some mentors in life who tried to talk about, 4 days week schedule. Again, I was maybe, and that was the last job I did. I used to have a 4-day week schedule, and three
Oh.
days were completely free. And I never, because I was having 3 days with me, I used to travel a lot.
Right.
I used to hang out with my friends, skill up, or maybe just sleep the whole day in my room, binge watching and all of that stuff, right? But
Right.
those 4 days were of high productivity with me. Like
Right.
starting my day right at 10 a.m. And I had no idea when I'm closing it, be it 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., whatever it is.
Right.
Because the motivation was there that अगले 3 दिन मेरे हैं.
Correct.
That was the kick. So yes, Gen Z at workplace is very tricky, but I have to accept as employer their traits, and then I have to plan it accordingly. That
Right.
that's how some rules are there for you that you have to accept, and there are some traits of yours which I am going to accept.
Correct.
That's how we have to go in sync.
Right. So, like you talked about appreciation, that is a very valid point that is coming through this generation, that they need appreciation. Like the previous generations might be like they might see it as an additional reward, but this generation wouldn't work without it. Like since there are so many options, they might just switch or something. So, how do you manage this particular thing that they need?
Appreciation is again, I think, is very tricky. How the businesses see it and give it,
Right.
and how a person is considering it,
Correct.
right? I remember once I was like in one of my job profile, the so-called appreciation came as a bed sheet on a Diwali.
Okay.
I was like, what should I do with this? Right? It's a completely
Hmm.
useless thing.
Hmm.
That appreciation doesn't matter at all.
Hmm.
So some businesses try to give the so-called appreciation in terms of products, the
Hmm.
freebies, the coupons.
Hmm.
Again, depends on person to person how they take it.
Right.
There are like maybe hardly one person in the entire 50 people team who is not happy with that appreciation, but other 49
Hmm.
very nicely welcomed and enjoyed that, right?
Hmm.
Another thing comes appreciation, or the fanciness comes with a nice office environment. You have a nice place to sit, very fancy office. And I still remember some of my interns who are into jobs now, like in Bangalore and all other city. They have such fancy offices, cubicles to sleep, and then fancy dinners,
Right.
being given. And someone would say they are into night shifts, right? And then they say, मैम आप किसी भी कंट्री का खाना बोल दो, वहां बुफे में लगा होता है. But maybe I am at that age where I realize a night shift can completely destroy the body.
Right.
So the appreciation comes in the form of nice lavishing food,
Hmm.
where they forget the night blues.
Hmm.
And
Right.
they are happy with that food. मतलब मुझे चाउमीन खाने को मिल रहा है, मुझे अच्छा खाना मिल रहा है, मुझे फैंसी croissant मिल रहा है, a nice coffee machine, Starbucks की machine है मेरी ऑफिस में, and all. So these are also indirect appreciations, or the fanciness which Gen Z is falling for and companies are giving.
Correct.
Again, depends on a person how they are seeing it and taking it. Another appreciation level comes work from home.
Correct.
Right. And work from home, the first time I got the opportunity to do a work from home was 2016, way before COVID.
Okay.
And I remember my boss, I really admire that person. He said, but Punjabi, he said, I'll just speak that in English also for you, that, इन्नू ना ए ना समझी कि बड़ा बड़ा फायदा हो गया है. ठीक है, बड़ा पंगे वाली चीज हुंदी है. And in English, he said, it's more of a responsibility than a perk.
Right.
कि ऑफिस ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਉੱਧਰ ਕਦੀ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ,
Hmm.
when you work from home and you get a call, be it on a call or be it a Zoom or be it whatever, you have to be there on time. आप एक मिनट भी लेट नहीं हो सकते हो.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? So yes, many people now take work from home as a perk. Undoubtedly, it's a perk.
Right.
Especially being a woman, I would say that it is a big perk. I can handle 10 more things parallelly with my profile, with my work, without sacrificing any of it. Right? It is definitely a perk and appreciation for many. Right? And then next appreciation comes as bonus.
Hmm.
क्वार्टरली बोनस, ईयरली बोनस, Q1, मतलब आपका जो भी आपका चल रहा है कंपनी का पैटर्न, यू गेट मनी. एंड इट वेरीज. आपके काम के लेवल पे अप्रिसिएशन आपका वेरी करता है. अगेन,
Right.
अप्रिसिएशन इज व्हाट, इट्स द मोटिवेशन फॉर यू टू वर्क. आपकी
Correct.
मोटिवेशन क्या है, वो आपके लिए आपको पता है. कईयों के लिए पैसा है, एंड इट इज नॉट रॉन्ग एट ऑल.
Hmm.
For millennials and the other generation, money, to desire for money is not correct, but we are also changing with it. To desire for money is not wrong.
Right.
At right. So कईयों के लिए पैसा मोटिवेशन है, और अगर मुझे ये मोटिवेशन मिल रही है कि मैं 6 महीने बहुत अच्छे से काम करूंगा तो शायद मुझे अच्छा हाइक मिलेगा या बोनस मिलेगा, इट्स एन एप्रिसिएशन. ठीक है.
Right.
समवन मोर हैप्पी कि यार मुझे रोज का अच्छा खाना मिल रहा है.
Hmm. Correct.
एप्रिसिएशन. मुझे वर्क फ्रॉम होम मिल रहा है. एप्रिसिएशन. सो इट
Right.
वेरीज. कंपनी टू कंपनी इट वेरीज. Person to person it varies. And yes, as a small agency, as a startup where I have a team of 10 to 20 people, it's me that I have to see the people who are working with me to see what motivates them.
Right.
So yes, we do have setups where we are giving that yearly appreciation. Be it, one is the hike happens, and yes, as a culture, Diwali is a celebration for us. So the appreciation comes there also. Be it the products, or you see, when the Gen Z and other people who need more money rather than a product. So maybe that appreciation goes in form of money also, right? And then further comes where you have maybe a monthly or once in 2 months, a nice get together, be it a fun Friday or a potluck, and you have to be very creative with it. It's not always ordering pizzas for the team and you just sit and eat and leave.
Right.
Yes, as small agencies, we try to experiment a lot with these so-called appreciations and motivations.
Right.
Sometimes it could be outdoor activity. So it changes. It is very like, it
Right.
has to be very adaptive.
Right. Right. This is very correct. Like so many companies have been providing all these, maybe a traveling and everything they do at. But then I also have one more question, that these are all a little bit of monetized appreciations. Like what about the verbal appreciations? How important are those at this for this generation?
It is important. It is very much important. And it's a human behavior again,
Correct.
right? Um, Everyone loves appreciation. Be it your cook at home, your
Mm,
mom taking care of the house, your father earning the livelihood. Anyone in the universe loves appreciation. Then why not Gen Z? They are not different. And especially at work, we fail to appreciate. मतलब हम बहुत जल्दी किसी की गलती 10 लोगों के सामने बोल देते हैं, लेकिन उसने कुछ अच्छा किया तो वो
right.
appreciate नहीं कर पाते.
Right.
Yes, appreciation in public is very important. And when you want to scold that person, you have to take them for a nice cup of coffee separately. So this is something, as a employer, as manager, I have learned that this needs to be done very with like complete sensitivity.
Right.
Because most of the time we don't know what's going on the other hand. Sometimes the
Right.
person can have like if it is problematic zone, किसी का काम गलत हो गया है, हो सकता है कि मैनेजर के साथ नहीं पट रही, सीनियर के साथ नहीं पट रही, वो जो बोलना चाहता है उसके जो आइडियाज हैं वो कोई सुन ही नहीं रहा है,
Hmm.
राइट?
Right.
एंड सेम वे कुड बी समथिंग पर्सनल, ऑफ कोर्स पर्सनल हम बहुत ज्यादा कंसीडर नहीं करते एज ऑन
Hmm.
वर्क स्पेसेस व्हिच जेंजी इज वेरी मच अटैच्ड टू,
Hmm.
right? And I have received those mails with from Gen Z where they take an off without stating the reason, and I'm very happy with it. Rather than someone giving me a fake reason, and it's the world of social media, right? आप बोलो कि मेरे पेट में दर्द है और शाम को आपकी रील वायरल हो रही होती है where you are dancing at a party, right?
Right.
It's way better to say I am not in the mood of coming. I'm very
Hmm.
happy to give you off. छुट्टी मनाओ यार, मत आओ काम
Hmm.
पे. कल मन से आना, डबल काम कर लेना.
Hmm.
So because it happens with everyone, it's not that particular Gen Z who's, fighting with it. The only good thing is that person is very much vocal with it, which our generation fails to. हमारा मूड ऑफ होता है तो हम कहते हैं चलो बैठ के विद लॉन्ग फेस वी ट्राई टू वर्क, एंड दैट इज नॉट एट ऑल अगेन प्रोडक्टिव. मूड
Right.
नहीं है तो जैसे नहीं है ना, मत करो काम. सो यस, दीज थिंग्स आर कनेक्टेड.
Right. That is correct. So, ma'am, one last question. If there would be one advice that you would like to give to Gen Zs, what would it be?
I have no advice for them. I'll be very honest. No advice as such, because you can't teach anything specially to Gen Z.
Hmm.
When they want to take it, they will take it. If they don't want to take it, they will not take it. And I'll be very honest, where maybe I am trying to learn a lot of things from Gen Z, be it my brother falling in that Gen Z zone, be it the interns coming up, my teammates, so whosoever is this Gen Z zone, I think they have a lot of things to teach to their seniors back. So, yes, the only one thing I feel which they lack is motivation. The
Okay.
motivation or the inspiration part, who inspires you. So if
Hmm.
this question, like if you ask our generation, we will name maybe two, three, four people. But when
Right.
ask this question to any of the Gen Z, it's very rare that someone would give me an answer.
Right.
Or their so-called inspirations would be some random singer or something like that, right? Who's not actually an inspiration, which is like a very much manipulated picture. So the only thing which I would say, have a nice inspiration, someone which is very thoughtful and gives you that motivation to make your life even way better. Otherwise, I would say they have a lot of things to teach us back rather than take from us.
Right. That is some great advice, and it is also making me wonder who I am inspired from. So, to everyone listening, if you want someone to help you build your brand, go check out ma'am's work. I will be sharing the link below. Thank you so much for being a part of this series, ma'am. We love talking to you.
Mine, Soumya, thank you so much. And all the best to everyone who's hearing her out, because this girl makes sense. And most of the Gen Z makes sense, I believe that. And all the best to you, Soumya, also. Wish
Thank you.
you luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, ma'am.